Sharon Wilharm and her husband Fred are award-winning filmmakers currently working on their seventh feature film. Their previous movies have screened in theaters and churches across the country, as well as in Europe, Africa, and Brazil. Welcome to the Harvest Show, Sharon.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me start by asking you this question. I read it in your bio that you said you are an accidental filmmaker. What do you mean by that?
So many people, they dream of making movies, and that was never my vision. I had never given it any thought. I thought I was going to go into the ministry. I was a teacher. I had done drama, but it was with theater. And then I married a businessman and discovered that he had a dream of making movies. And so in 1999, he was making a documentary that was about local history, and somehow or another, that documentary turned into a faith-based feature film with me writing it, directing it, and starring in it. And from there, I just kind of fell into filmmaking.
And so that's your ministry now, Christian filmmaking. Talk about some of the trends happening now in the industry.
It is an exciting time to be in faith-based films. The whole industry has changed a lot. When we first started doing films, there was a lot of interest in churches. They were looking for movies to show to their congregation, and then there was the DVDs in the Christian bookstores. But now it is opening up where there are more opportunities in theaters, with Fathom, AMC Independent, a lot of these opportunities where, independent movies can actually get into theaters and do a release. And then also with like Netflix, Amazon, they're seeing that there's a market for faith-based films, and they were interested. And so it's a great time.
And I can see in the backdrop that your furniture looks like it's straight out of 1960s. So tell me about your new film called Summer of '67.
Yeah, Summer of '67 is a Vietnam War story told from the perspective of the women left behind. And it follows the story of three girls whose young men are sent over to Vietnam. And this is the house of two of the sisters. And so we have spent since last summer gathering up props and costumes and basically just transforming an old house into a '60s home. And we're getting ready this week to, we've got a wedding and two funerals and a baby shower and a family dinner. So a lot going on this week in the '60s.
And I know there in Nashville, you're shooting on location at some very historic sites. Tell me about those sites.
We have been very blessed. We filmed in Trenton, Kentucky with a church there. We found it's very hard to find churches to film that have not added the big screens and all the modern touches, but we found a beautiful church in Trenton, Kentucky where we filmed. We went to Bowling Green and filmed at a park there, and also they have the historic rail park train museum, and it's just a beautiful location that we were able to film at. We have filmed at a couple of restaurants, the Pleasant View Diner, the Catfish House, and we're getting ready to film at the Nashville National Cemetery.
How are you incorporating the Christian message in your film without sounding too religious or like a Bible thumper?
Basically, it's just a part of their lives. It's not that, we're not plugging in sermons. It's just that these girls are dealing with issues and their faith comes up. And Ruby May is the one whose faith is probably the strongest. Kate is the one who kind of struggles the most. And Millie is the one who really needs the faith. And so each of them have their own faith story, and it's just integrated into their life.
In a previous conversation with you, Sharon, you told me that attitudes in the industry about Christian films are evolving. They're changing. How so?
I think that the general public is starting to see that there is a market, there is a need. The level of filmmaking has gone up so much. It seems like each year, we do a lot of Christian film festivals, and each year when we see the films, they're getting better and better and better. And, the market is recognizing that and really appreciating that they can see Christian movies that are well done and are entertaining, and, that people can enjoy, even if they don't necessarily, even if they're not a Christian, they can still appreciate aspects. That's what we found with Providence. We thought it was going to be a completely Christian audience, and then we had a lot of secular reviewers that said, hey, I'm not a Christian, but I could relate to these characters, and that was exciting to us.
Now, I know that this is a film that you probably underwrite with some funding, but it's kind of difficult. It's a challenge for Christian filmmakers to even just break even. How do you handle the financial part of this?
We have been very blessed. We self-finance all of our movies, and God provides through other ways. But we really see it as a ministry. It is a labor of love. It is something that we do. You know, I always thought I was going to go into ministry, and that's what this is. And so for us, it is a ministry to our cast and crew. It is a ministry to each and every person. From the moment we step on set, every dealing that we have with people, we consider it, you know, sharing Jesus with the lost or with the saved. We've had, you know, with people who are hurting. And so that's, for us, it is definitely a ministry.
Okay, I know I have to let you get back to making your movie, but for people who want to see Summer of '67, give us some more information about it.
Well, we'll start the film festival circuit starting next spring, and then we'll be releasing it theatrically on Veterans Day weekend, November 2018. If they would like to learn more, they can go to our website at summerof67.com. We also have a Facebook page where we, you know, post a bunch of pictures, and I blog at faithflixfilms.com, and I'm providing a pretty detailed behind-the-scenes look of pictures and description of all that we're doing.
Well, thank you so much, Sharon, for joining us here today on The Harvest Show.
Well, thank you for having me.
And you heard Sharon. You can reach her at faithflixfilms.com or go to harvest-tv.com for more information. Harvest continues in just a moment.